Okay, part C. Part C says use a midpoint sum, so that's Riemann sum. 3 subintervals, equal length from the table to approximate this. So you should stop right there because you hit a period, you have something to do, you should go do it. So let's go do it. Part C. Okay, so I always write down the integral, so I keep track of what I'm doing. The 1/6 is not part of the Riemann sum, but they asked you to find the value of this. They didn't just ask you to find a Riemann sum, they asked for the value of that pink box. That pink box does include the 1/6. The red box over here, that's the Riemann sum. So this red is the Riemann sum. So to calculate a midpoint Riemann sum from time equals 0 to time equals 6, I look at the table and I break it into the 3 equal subintervals, like so. For each subinterval, I go to the middle of the subinterval, and I take the value of C in the middle of the subinterval. That's this one, and this one. Each of those values get multiplied by the change in time for the subinterval. In this case, the change in time is always 2. That's why there's a 2 here, here, and here. You shouldn't complete the computation because you only risk making a mistake. You need to make sure you have these parentheses indicating that all of this is getting multiplied by 1/6. The green box is 1 point. If you remembered the 1/6, you would okay, you can't get, hold on, let's back up. The red point was the Riemann sum. So that's the stuff in the red box. If you have the Riemann sum correct, and then you remember that since you're finding this integral, you must also include the 1/6, then you would get the second point. If your Riemann sum is wrong, you're not going to get that second point. Okay, next thing, using correct units, explain the meaning of this. Well, we are integrating C, but then we're dividing by the width of the integral. That's how we find the average value of something. Go to the notes right here. The average value of anything, that's how we find it. So that's all we've got to write down now is this integral is the average, you could say value of C, it's the average amount of coffee in the cup. You've got to have the units of that average. Coffee's measured in ounces. You've got to have units for the time interval, and you've got to specify the time interval. So you must be very particular and very careful. You only get the 1 point for the blue if you talk about how the integral is the average amount of coffee in the cup. If you ever use the word rate, you lose the point. That integral is not doing anything with rate. If you forget the word ounces, you would lose the point. If you forget the word minutes, you would lose the point. If you don't specify the time interval, you lose the point. So it's only 1 point. You must have all those things in order to get the point.